episode is going to be about the 8-rack deck. The 8-rack deck is actually a very, very favorable matchup for you. It's not like Blue Moon, which also is a lockdown deck. Both of these are lockdown decks. The difference being that you're going to play your creatures early on, and they're going to have a hard time dealing with it outside of like an Ensnaring Bridge. Liliana activations, and Pox activations, while these are the better versions, in my opinion, have Pox, they stink to play against. You can still battle through it pretty easily. Also, the other thing to note is that if they're going ahead and using -2 on Liliana, you can kill it pretty easily, and that stops them from being able to go over the top with discard. Normally they can 1-for-1 discard. You draw a card, they make you discard. So you're not really gaining any cards, but you're still working with the sort of pool of cards. What they really need to do is suddenly start making that hand go from 7 to 0, so they start doing 2 or 3 a turn. That's when it starts to become problematic. The good thing for aggro decks is that once we're past turn 3, we usually have a couple creatures on the board, we're just going to go to town with them, and while they make us play with our hands, we're just sort of beating their face in with little creatures. So it's harder for them to go against us. They have to sideboard a lot in against us, and also use like Ensnaring Bridge. While Ensnaring Bridge is probably the best thing possible, we still can top deck burn and just win. So what we want to do is basically put as many creatures out as possible early on, and then go ahead and just sort of like go to town with it. I had the honor to play against Del Zero. Del Zero is a really, really good Magic player on on MTG Salvation. Created the Room Lantern the Gathering. He's probably the best Hate Bears player. I don't think he's playing Hate Bears right here because he just wanted to randomly practice something. So I don't think he's playing Hate Bears right here. But he wanted to zoo test, and he's gonna record this video too. So you're gonna get, like, you want to check his thread out. You can go ahead and get double-sided stuff. But he's definitely the best Hate Bears player I've ever met. I'm gonna keep this hand. So I'm gonna record one video of me playing him against whatever random deck he's playing against and put it up there, but I'm also probably gonna ask him for a Hate Bears game. I got 4 lands in hand. This isn't necessarily what I want, but I do have a Gore-Clan Rampager who pretends to be a spell. He pretends to be a really good removal spell. So I'm gonna crack this for non-basic because what the fuck, he is playing Hate Bears and he's just trying to fuck with my head. And I only imagine there's like 12-year-olds that watch this primer and their parents overhear me curse up a storm. And that's it. So sure, I'm being greedy, but I got the right to be greedy. Oh, Raven's Crime. Oh, dude, is he playing 8-rack? Are you playing 8-rack, buddy? Are you playing 8-rack? You're fucking playing 8-rack, aren't you? Weirdly enough, I had a land to throw away to that spell. Normally you don't have lands. I'm gonna hold the Aridmisa for now, because I can throw away another land if I need to. And I'm gonna play this one tapped. I'm not even gonna pretend that I've got the whoa. Not what I meant to do, buddy. I'm not even gonna pretend that I've got the oh shit. Oh shit, I threw away the land that I needed! Whoopsies! No, that was a mistake on my end. I can't take it away though. I'm just gonna play through it like a boss. Well, guess I'm tossing in the Aridmisa. Well, technically, I could just crack it for planes. I think that's probably what I want to do. Mind Wrench? Bleh! That's fine. I'm actually keeping the land, because my deck curves out at 3, so it'd be better for me to keep the land unless I draw a land, which I don't. And this means I can crack this guy for a Temple Garden. I don't think he's got any basic land hate, or has any normal land hate, so we're just gonna go ahead and attack here. All out. All out. Dozier is not a big fan of 8-Rack, so it's kind of funny to see him play. Good ensnaring bridge here. Liliana of the Veil. I'm gonna lose my Curd Ape, obviously, here. And I'm gonna bolt that thing. Not even waste my time. So you could drop like 7 racks here and then just kill me. That'd be kind of funny if you just dropped like 3 racks and I'm just dying. That's definitely possible, but the deck is mostly, well, there's 1 rack. I'm losing 3 life. I'm gonna be keeping this card in my hand at this point, because there's no reason for me to play it. He can totally, you could totally, Raven's Cry me here, but it does cost him a land card, and it does cost him a card. Or it does cost him just, I guess, a mana, which is better than nothing. And if he wants to, like, Thoughtseize or Inquisition of Kozilek, yeah, yeah, GG. Like a boss, man. Alright, so the question is, what do we side in? I've never actually built anything to 8-Rack. Our deck is naturally good against 8-Rack. They managed to get themselves out a ensnaring bridge. It kind of screws with us. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put in the Buddha's Charm. And I'm going to take out a Lightning Helix. Actually, no, I'm going to take out my Path to Exiles. They're pretty useless in this matchup. Unless he's got something weird. But the Path to Exiles are generally useless in this matchup. I'm going to put in the Destructive Revelry and the Ancient Grudge. And that's it, I think. Yeah, I don't want to take out the Kitchen Finks for the Knight of the Reliquaries, just because if I discard land cards, the Knight of the Reliquary gets stronger anyways. The Ancient Grudge should take care of ensnaring bridges, plus other stuff. We've got a pretty good hand here. Shit. Because most of these are bad discards. The only thing that's a good discard card here right now is the Tarmogoyf. Although if you turn 1 discards my Wild Noctowl, turn 2 discards my Tarmogoyf, that would suck. But I'd be willing to drop a Lightning Helix against a... yeah, that's gross. So maybe not the best hand, now that I'm realizing it. Wild Noctowl is getting goodbyed, I'm sure. Unless he wants to get rid of my Tarmogoyf. Which he can. But that means I do more damage to the Wild Noctowl over time, probably. Tarmogoyf is only a... well, I mean, he could grow to be upwards to a 4 in this matchup. But if he's got another discard, then that's fine. The thing is, I am not going to... hello. I'm not going to discard my Tarmogoyf if I can help it to, like, I'd rather discard Burn. Burn's just a good thing to discard in general. It's a great top deck. It's also a good thing to discard. It's not worth keeping in this matchup. Pox? Pox would be the best thing. Goodbye, Lightning Bolts. Verdant Catacomb is cool. I'm not going to use it because he knows I've got it. Or he doesn't know I've got it. So it's best to make him think. Best to trick him. Probably want access to green, to be honest. Although access... because he could potentially kill one of my lands. Well, if he potentially kills one of my lands, it's my choice of what land dies. So I think I want to take Sacred Foundry here because I can still catch the Temple Garden with the Verdant if he does that. And I think this guy is a pretty big one. He's 4/5 Tarmogoyf right now. He could Ensnaring Bridge. If he just Ensnaring Bridge his next turn, if he drops a land and Ensnaring Bridge, I'm like a sad panda, and I should have kept the burn. Because if he lands Raven's Crime, I think I get rid of my land. Because if he drops a land and then Pox, I'm like up shit's creek. Shrieking Affliction. Sure. So I'm going to lose 3 life. And I draw a land, which is kind of nice to have in hand. I'm not actually going to do anything with it. But if he Inquisitions me next turn, I can just go ahead and pay for the Boros Charm. I'd rather pay for the Boros Charm during like my upkeep or something after the Shrieking trigger fails. If he puts out a land and then, because I'm trying to play around the Gorkland Rampager is kind of cool because I can pump it with the Boros Charm. If he has another land next turn, like imagine if he draws a land and then Windmill slams down the Windmill slams down the Ensnaring Bridge. I can still attack with my Experiment 1, pump it after the attack's already been declared, then Boros Charm it for the win. I can also just probably kill him right now. That's just me being greedy. Because if this guy's hitting for 6 and this guy's hitting for that, I bring him down to 2. I'd rather just hold on to it, just in case. There's no reason for me to rush it, especially when I have the chance to basically bring him down to 2 regardless with the Boros Charm. I mean, he knows I have the Boros Charm in hand still. I kept it because it does the most damage for 1 spell. Victim of the Night. I don't know why he didn't play that earlier. Maybe he's worried I've got... Oh, because I've got Boros Charm? That's fine. He was probably trying to bait out the Boros Charm. And that gets me the game. GG. It's a tough matchup. Alright, so up here is a quick list of things that you might want to side in versus 8-rack, and things that are great in the main deck versus 8-rack. Siding in, I would talk about bringing in anything that's artifact or enchantment hate. You've got Ancient Grudge, Back to Nature, Deglamour, Destructive Revelry, Wear and Tear. They all sort of do that. The reasons why you want to take them in is so that they can hit Bridge. So you can hit Bridge. You can hit the Shrieking Affliction and the Rack pieces. They're all sort of fall in that area. You notice that I've also got a couple weird things on here too, like Kitchen Finks. Kitchen Finks is a good thing if you have it to sideboard in, because if they go ahead and Victim the Night it or anything, it comes back and so it can continue the beatdown. Plus it gains you some life, so it might give you some leeway against the 8-rack decks. It's just gaining you back like a turn or something against a rack. Also, Boros Charm, I've done things like I did in the last game where I side out Lightning Helixes and put in Boros Charms. Not that I'm expecting to get board wiped by it or that the Double Strike be relevant at all, but the fact of the matter is it costs the same amount as Lightning Helix and it does 4 damage instead of 3 damage, and that does prove to be relevant sometimes. Lightning Helix has the upside though that you can go ahead and gain some life off of it too. But if you're already losing life for an 8-rack deck, you're probably in the crap hole anyways. I've also put Knight of the Reliquary and Tarmogoyf in here because these guys are your best friends. You're going to want to make sure that you land them, and if you put them out, that there's another creature out in play too, so Liliana or Pod can't get them dead, because they'll win you the game straight out because of all the discard. Tarmogoyf and Knight of the Reliquary are generally going to be very, very big. So that was the 8-rack matchup. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and remember to feed the animals.